Welcome back, Commanders. I'm bringing you an epic and chaotic battle on this absolute gorgeous map, River Run and Beyond All Reason, a real-time strategy game where there are no unit caps, destruction is guaranteed, and the battles rage on what feels like forever. Without further ado, let's introduce our commanders from each team. For the top commander with 42 open skill, we have our blue commander right here as Armada opening up bots. And his co-commander, the one that's going to help him carry his team to victory, will be Snick Mayuva as a green Armada commander, also going to be opening up bots. Let's zoom out here and jump over to the other side of the map here. We have Glorp TTV as our red Armada commander. And his co-commander, the man-in-arms, Ionic Twitch here as Legion, opening up bots as well. For those of you who are just joining us or who are new to this beautiful game called Beyond All Reason, there are three major factions at play here. You have Legion, which is the newest, Armada, and then you have Armada again. I cannot find a Cortex commander. Oh, here we go. We have a Cortex commander. Now, maybe asking, what is the difference between all three of these factions? Well, I'm glad you asked. Cortex is more the slow, lumbering, brute type style. Armada, more fast, hits harder, but does not have the HP that Cortex does. And Legion units are way more specialized, it feels like, compared to the other two factions. Also, bots versus vehicles. Bots rely on numbers and flanking, where vehicles rely on raw power to get to the front line. Let's zoom out here and we can see the lines are being drawn. For those of you who do not know, one single unit can just devastate your entire backline. Your structures in this game are like paper, and one unit can melt that stuff down into utter scrap metal. So both teams right now are looking to perhaps get a little bit of one unit to slip through and destroy the entire team's economy. Now, in Beyond All Reason, you generally have two roles. You have the frontliners, which hold the line like this and prevent any little units from getting through. And generally, 1 to 2 players will choose to eco, because this game has exponential scaling, where the more money you have, the faster you can make more money, and it just ramps up continuously over the course of the game. So you do want one player in the backline doing that. That allows your other teammates to get further ahead in terms of eco. We have a couple of grunts here that managed to slip through, and just like I mentioned earlier, this is about to devastate this man's economy, but his commander here is standing firm, and the commander has a D-gun. Will he use it? No, he's going to choose to laser him down. One mech has gone down. He's going to lose another one here. That is huge for his metal economy. How about the winds, though? Winds are going to take some big damage. One falls. These can chain react, but luckily the commander is there to propel the final grunt away, and he runs into the blue commander getting shut down. That brings us into the economy of Beyond All Reason. You have two ways to get money, metal and wind. Metal is generally going to be limited by these metal nodes that are scattered around the map, and that's what most people will fight for and try and make sure they have land claim over. Your energy can be placed anywhere, and it's what allows your metal to produce units. If we open up this vehicle lab right here, and we see this inside here, 120 metal and 1,000 energy. You can also see right up here in the top hand screen, wind speed, showing us our average wind speed. So we know that it's very easy to get wind on this map, so most of the time you're always going to be limited by metal. You also have these geothermal locations here, which are incredibly valuable. These give you the best bang for your buck for energy and can absolutely snowball your economy lead if you're able to take these and fortify them. That's why we see players rushing so fast to get these hills. Not only do we get high ground here, but you get an insane economic advantage. And in Sizer here, you're going to be fighting some satires here, shelling away. He does get outranged, forced to retreat. When a unit dies in Beyond All Reason, it leaves behind about 60 to 70% of the metal it costs to build that. So losing your units on the other side of the map is very devastating. It allows your opponent to get a huge eco lead. A commander just falls down. That is huge for this green commander. There's now 1.2k metal right here for the taking. Glorp TTV will either look to D-gun it. Oh no, Nightman Nova D-guns the commander wreckage, denying it from Glorp TTV. But now there is another commander right here that he can freely eat. D-guns are going wild here. Destroys every unit in the entire game. Yes, even the highest tier units in one shot. Getting hit by that is getting blasted to another dimension. He's going for some big D-guns there. Managed to even save his commander. Huge clutch micro from Loves You. Loving his game right now as he manages to save his commander. Dispute Galaxy looking to get that high ground advantage we've talked about earlier. The Mesa is going to try and deny that. These are like bombardment units. Kind of like a Ravager in StarCraft in its way. It has good range. And it does have a bit of meaty on its bones. Looking to do some big damage here. The pawn though getting repaired up. We're doing some nice damage, but they're going to force up into the top of this hill here. Looking to kill these towers. Commander's going to be locked all alone on the top of this hill against 3 Mesas.
Has died.
Another commander has fallen. Commanders are dropping like flies here. This is huge though for Wild Sparrow. That's 1.2k on his side of the map. And to put that into perspective of how much metal that really is, right now most commanders are only sitting at 15 metal a second. That is huge economy boost if you're able to secure that. That's why when we saw earlier, he chose to D-gun it to deny it from his enemy, because losing one commander can generally change the complete tide of the battle if it's given to the enemy. But Disrupted Galaxy holds his high point here. Very good gaming by him. Let's zoom out to the entire map and see what is happening. Another commander drops. Looks like a commander trade here. That's going to be heavily fought over. That's 2,500 metal. Both teams are going to be looking to vacuum up to further their economy lead. The Incisors, great at stopping spammable units, but very bad against the heavier tier 1 units that you can produce. Couple of satires up here. Long range artillery bots here, but if the Incisors can get on top of them, they will absolutely melt them. But can they get on top of them in time? They're taking so much damage from the flanking. Flanking increases the damage you're taking, and they're getting shot from every angle. Maybe they just like it like that, trying their very best to deny this commander sucking. We zoom out again and we have a huge blue army, a squad of pawns here looking to push very deep in. Zoom down, let's have a look at these bad boys. They're running in, approximately 10 of them right now. We have units coming in one by one. That is, the pawns will just eat that for breakfast. They're continuing the rampage throughout the base here. Oh no, there's nothing to stop. Tier 2, very strong, but is it a little too late as the pawns have already entered the fray? We're going to kite up the hill here, looking to maybe get the geothermal. Look at that, scaling a vertical mountain. I wish I could do that. I would need a hook just to get up that mountain. Pawn getting stuck there, but he did do quite a bit of damage there, slowing down the eco drastically, getting 4 metal extractors. That is huge, and slowing down Orange's pushing power now, because he went tier 2, and tier 2 is way more expensive than tier 1, but it is way more cost effective. And him losing those 4 metal nodes will drastically slow down his tier 2 power spike, giving blue team way more time to react. We have a couple of rocket bots here, ballistics, shelling away, trying to kill these metal extractors. But it looks like he is lost in the sauce as he's not even hitting his target. Bro must not have his monitor on. It must be turned off. Or maybe he forgot to wear his glasses today. We do not know. But the pawns here, brave warriors, witness them as they charge bravely into battle, getting absolutely obliterated by the Mesa splash damage. Their destruction, dismantling them and putting them back into the scrapyard. Res bots, that is another mechanic. You can res units for basically free, just cost energy, and since energy is very easy to come by and beyond all reason, resing is a very strong strategy. The major downside, it takes a long time to do. We have a couple more Rocketeers here shelling away. Let's zoom out once again. Let's look at the middle of the map and see what's happening. Blue is looking for a deep rundown. He gets a big AoE. Oh my lord, the winds are destroyed. Turn off the camera. It's a massacre. That's 18 plus. He just lost his entire economy. Blue is shutting everyone down. And a pawn is still alive. And there's nothing to stop this. This thing could destroy this whole eco. If micro correctly. Blue dominating the battlefield. That's why he's the top OS player in this game, showing us how it's done as he completely takes control not only of the map, but of the enemy team's economy, dominating. But red, Glorp TTV, the best player on the red team, he has to make a move, and he's making it swift as he pushes in here, devastating the co-commander's base, forcing him to leave Perhaps a rage quit right there as he's tapped out incredibly early. In a game like Beyond All Reason, you can share your units. So generally, if you're dead and you really want to win, it's always better for you to stay in the game and just ask for units, because you can micro, right? You're still a human, you still have buttons you can push. Even if you don't have units of your own, you can ask for units and you can have good micro that can definitely lead your team to victory. So that was definitely a bit of an early quit, especially with the devastating damage Blue has been able to do, taking out basically 2 players, slowing them down. Wild Sparrow here opting similar to get the Geo. That's what I like to call a blunder. He's gonna grab it, I think right now. No, he's going for some more build power. This is so much energy he's just wasting, and it's very sad to see. Blue, though, coming to help his comrade in arms to push back the red menace. There is about 1,000 metal right here, so his commander could look to go eat that up, man. He's looking like an all-you-can-eat buffet, and I'm hungry. How about we zoom out once more and see how the battle has transpired over the last 12 minutes. We can clearly see red has a good front on the right side, where blue has a very strong front on the left side. In the middle, it's kind of anyone's game. Right now, green looks like he's making a huge push forward. Let's zoom in and check this one out. We have a Stute looking to get some ground, but there is a commander, and he can one-shot every unit in the entire game, so he has to be taken out. Or he can completely shut down this push if he's not given the respect he deserves. But he is doing good with his micro, outranging. Ooh! Perhaps that was a misstep. It's okay, he didn't want that tank anyway. Oh, he's not microing. Maybe he's lagging. We'll say he's lagging. A couple more Janices coming in. One shot, down 10%. Another shot, down to 15%. It's down to 14%. His hands are off, but his units are hitting. They're like, why, Commander? Why don't you love me enough to micro me? Huge D-guns, though, coming out from Jib Mister here. Slowing down this push drastically. Killing. Oh! Insane micro right there, saving the Stute, getting the artillery, and now green completely owns the left hand flank here. Red now will zoom out once again since blue is dominating the left flank here. Let's zoom in on the right side and see if red's making any progress, because now the pressure we're putting on this T2 Lav is up very far. Lord TTV is definitely looking to walk up here and D-gun this. Yes, you can also one-shot every structure in the entire game, and this D-gun will shut down this tier 2 and make the disputed galaxy completely useless. He doesn't even need to do it. He just guns it down. And now he's going to suck that thing dry. Get a Strago. 2,000 metal in the bank. Lord TTV definitely doing his team justice here. Carrying on the right-hand side. One Fiend getting into the back line. If this can get to the wins, we can melt that down into scrap. 2% HP. The Incisor shuts that down, no exceptions, making sure no more damage is done. Pawns are now running in here on the left hand flank. Both teams like a tug of war. The right hand side is winning for the red and the blue side is winning for the left. We just need more damage. It's all about stalling. In a game, something at this point in the game, when it's 14 minutes in and one side has a clear advantage and the other side has a clear advantage, now there is a very useful skill in bar that most people don't know how to use. That is dying slowly. The slower you die, the more time you give to your winning side. If all sides were winning, then you have to go for a Hail Mary. But since blue has a winning left side here, as long as the right side can die as slow as possible and buy as much time for the left hand flank for blue here, this can definitely net them the win. Not only that, but there's a huge reclaim field here. 5,000 metal on the line. Got some dragonflies shelling down to the units. Absolutely devastating damage from above here. No land unit is safe with those missiles flying. Some Helioses, a Legion tier 1 tank here. Nice laser beam. I love the Legion aesthetic. They look beautiful. Hopefully those robots at least go to Robot Jesus, because they just died for no reason. They didn't even take one down with them. Quite a sad sight to see, but we can only pray that the robots even have an afterlife. The pawns now running in here, going to kill a metal extractor. This is a huge leak now. There's nothing to stop this. Yellow is now forced to pull his army and stop blue from advancing. Oh, this could be good. If he can get around like this and get a nice flank here, that could completely end Grunker's 69's economy. We'll have to zoom in on this and see how this is going to play out. The goblins are coming up, but pawns make short work of goblins. Pawns are like goblins' bigger brothers. They just bully them and push them around. The Helios, however, will melt the pawns into scrap metal, so he's forced to run away. Perhaps a mistake, because now he's herding them into Grunker 69's base here. Oh no. This could be a travesty. His tier 2 mexes are now online. That gives huge economy. He can't afford to lose anything here. Even one tier 2 mex can swing the battle at this point. It's so close as both sides are racing to do devastating damage. Huge wind farm explosion. Gets that and the tier 2 mex. That's an absolute win. Now, purple in the backline of red. Red is pretty much out of the game. He's tapping out. Blue is now throwing up the FF vote. I guess red crushed through Glort TTV coming in clutch. The Jaguars are now in the back line. These one-shot the wind farms. Wow, that is a lot of energy. Meow, Muncher there. Going for a lot of eco. And perhaps was a mistake here, as he could have definitely assisted his right side more. This is way too much energy for the amount of metal he has. We have a couple of mosquitoes now being a little bit of a pest here, dealing with the Jaguars, slowing down the push. We have a 4 OS, the GOAT among men. Sometimes lower OSs are dark horses, man. You never know if they're going to clutch it up in one and pop off, or they're going to be completely useless. I've seen both. It's like flipping a coin. You don't know if it's going to land on heads or tails. Lockenthar Ogar here, shelling away at the bottom right hand base here. It's looking devastating for the blue side. I can't say blue is going to be able to come back in this one. I think that's going to be game here. Red side has a commanding hold on the right hand flank. They're stopping any leaks on the left. And blue not able to carry. Perhaps blue's biggest mistake was losing too many units on this side of the map, allowing red to get back into the game by eating his fallen comrades. Robots believe in recycling, and they do that very well. Now blue doesn't know what to do. He's lost in the sauce. I think he's mentally and physically tapped out of this game. As he throws up another resign vote, he's given up hope. As the onslaught of Jaguars now reach his base, and the winds are gonna melt as they electrocute them down. We have a Pitbull here coming up to slow it down, but it gets immediately evaporated by the Jaguars here. And the Jaguars, oh, they love killing pawns. Look at that. Ooh, it's ugly. If you like pawns, man, turn away, because you're about to see a massacre. The winds fall, everything falls down. The explosions echo throughout the lands. What an absolutely dominating game from Glort TTV. He definitely popped off and carried his red team to victory. The blue commander tried his best, but at last, Glort TTV was just too locked in. He came in with his Mountain Dew and his Doritos. He was prepared. Perhaps the blue commander forgot his, and that's why he could not match up to Glort TTV. As the Jaguars continue to run through the purple base now, wrecking havoc, explosions. You can hear their hopes and dreams falling as each explosion hits. They come further and further away to victory, and that is going to be the FF. That's going to be the GG called. What an absolute banger. If you guys did enjoy the video, hit that like button and subscribe. I got more casts coming your way. And with that, I hope you guys all have a fantastic day here on the Damage Search. Peace.